Well, I want to thank Marty Castro and all here for joining us on a very special occasion. Latino Heritage Month is a very important time that we come together as a community and honor men and women who have come before us and who are with us now and who will be with us in the future to make a difference. And there's a very important person I'm going to talk about in a little bit that I've known for a very long time. And I wanted to come here tonight for Carmen, but I also wanted to point out that this great museum, and I want to thank Carlos and everybody who's involved with the museum for really teaching us what we need to know about our history, about heritage, making sure that we understand. And every time I come through the doors of this great museum, I learn something. And matter of fact, not too far from here is a truck, a replica of a red truck that Cesar Chavez traveled in his course, in his life, as he changed America, changed the world. Cesar Chavez was born in Arizona, ultimately went to California, and he spent many times here on the south side of Chicago, right here on 18th Street. In 1974, I met Cesar Chavez. My first and only time, I got to shake his hand. And everyone knows about Si Si Puede, very important, yes we can. I think President Obama really learned about that, how important it is. And Cesar Chavez was a great organizer, and he understood not only that we can, but he also understood that we have to come together. And the night I met him, he said, "Juntos podemos," that together we can. And I think it's important that all of those who are of Latino heritage, whatever country you may have come from or your parents came from or your grandparents, we are all of us together in America. And we want to make sure our state, Illinois, the heart of the heartland, we show the whole country and indeed the whole world that we are a welcoming society, that it's everybody in and nobody left out. And as Marty said, and I want to thank Marty for his great work, he's chairman of the Department of Human Rights in our state, the Human Rights Commission, to make sure that everyone gets a fair shake. If there's any kind of discrimination, whether it's on a job or in housing or anything, that people have a place to go where they get fair treatment. That commission is a very important commission, and that's why I named Martin Castro to be on that commission and be the chairman of that commission. And it's important, as he said, to have important departments headed by those of Latino heritage. And I know one right here, he's standing right in front of me, Tony Godinez. I want to thank you, Tony. Tony has a very easy assignment, the Department of Corrections. Not easy. Thousands and thousands of workers, thousands of those, unfortunately, who are incarcerated. We're working together to kind of change the whole system. We don't want people going to prison. We want to hopefully have a positive society from early childhood on, from birth on, that invests in every single person and hopefully avoids violence and crime. And we don't have a situation where we have thousands of prisoners. It's important we work on that. Having said that, if someone does commit a crime, they must do the time. And we must make sure that we have strong people who are in leadership positions of that department and every other department in state government. You heard Marty talk about some of the departments, and I want to just say one thing today. You ain't seen nothing yet. We have many, many more people to appoint who are Latino folks in Illinois. One out of every 4 children in our elementary school, in our high schools in Illinois, are Latino kids. That's 25% of our schools, Latino kids. Every 30 seconds in America, a Latino person turns 18. We better pay attention. I think it's very, very important. And so that's why we're here today. We understand how important it is to celebrate heritage, but also we have heroes, real heroes, who have come in our midst that we've been graced by their presence. And I want to talk about Carmen, because I've known Carmen a long time. I knew her dad very, very much. He was a White Sox fan, and he got to go. He got to go to the 2005 World Series. I remember seeing him there. And her dad came from Mexico, and where did he go first? he was collecting beets or harvesting beets in South Dakota. He had the good sense to leave South Dakota and come to Illinois. We're glad he did. But the Velásquez family has always been a key part of our family of Illinois. And we live in a family. We've got to remember that we may have 13 million people, and that's a lot of people. It's the 5th largest state in the union. But we're not a crowd of 13 million people, everybody going in their own separate direction. We're a community of shared values. And that really is what has animated the life of Carmen Velásquez. She has always been a great organizer of everyday people. She understands that strength comes from organizing people. That's what Cesar Chavez believed in, and that's what many of our great heroes always believed in, that you make great changes, not from the top down, but you have grassroots citizens banding together for causes they believe in. And that's really what Carmen has done all her life. Every place she's been, she's made a difference. But one issue, more than any other, I think, that she truly believes in, and that's health care. And we want to make sure that we follow what Dr. Martin Luther King said a long time ago in this city. The worst form of discrimination is discrimination in health care. And we got to do something about it. And Carmen understands that, how important that is, that we make sure we have access to health care for everyone. Everyone should be in. No one should be left out. That health care is not a privilege, it's a fundamental right. And Alivio and all the good things that Carmen has done over many, many years with all of her compatriots, all of those who worked with her in building this great health care system, it really deserves to be recognized. And I think one thing that I said to Carmen a moment ago, just yesterday, we began this journey of the Affordable Care Act. You can call it Obamacare. The president says it's okay. To me, Obamacare means I do care. And I think that's what Carmen's life is all about. Carmen has a servant's heart. She understands the ethic of service that all of us have to embrace, that service to others is the rent we pay for our place on God's earth. And that's really what Carmen Velásquez's life is all about. It's all, I think, with our history, our Latino history, that we understand that there are great people who came before us. Matter of fact, when we went to Mexico earlier this year, I got a book. I got a book about a guy named Matias Romero. I never heard of Matias Romero, but he was sent by Benito Juarez to come to Springfield, Illinois, where I live, in a place called Governor's Mansion. But Matias Romero, on January, I think, 19th, 1861, before Abraham Lincoln was sworn in as president, Lincoln was president-elect. Civil War hadn't begun yet. Lincoln was still living in Springfield. Matias Romero arrived from Mexico as an emissary of President Benito Juarez, a great, great leader indeed of the people of Mexico. And he came on behalf of President Juarez to express good wishes to the new American president, to express his admiration for Lincoln, that Lincoln wanted to abolish slavery. And Juarez felt very strongly about the importance of doing that. And so it was very interesting. I learned on our trip this connection of the people of Mexico and the people of the United States, and especially the people of Illinois. Our president from Illinois, Abraham Lincoln, the greatest American president. And so I think it's important that we have heroes of the past and then heroes of the present. And that is indeed what Carmen is to me and always will be. Now, she may be retiring coming up. I'm going to some dinner, I've been told, in January. And we'll salute Carmen's work. But she's never, ever going to be allowed to be retired, okay? We're going to always call upon her. Come on up here, Carmen. You know, I wanted to have a heritage event that really, I think, bring forward, if you would, our proclamation. This is for you, Carmen. You know, the governor, when you get elected governor, you get certain powers. One of them is you can proclaim things, okay? And so I want to have a proclamation today honoring a very special person, my friend, all of our friends, somebody who cares about the least among us, and that's really your life. And I really think it's important that we salute you and proclaim today Carmen Velásquez Day in the land of Lincoln. Say a few words, Carmen.
Governor Quinn, there are no words to say thank you for your presence here, for the honor that you have given me. But I really want to say a couple of things to you all. 7 years ago, I cut a deal with the Alivio board, who are here. Teresa Fraga, Esther Corpus, Ann Garslan, Giacomo Mancuso, Mary Liebold, and I hope I don't leave anybody out. But we agreed that 7 years ago that I would retire on January 31st, 2014. So this was not an overnight decision or a pushing out or anything like that. And if they ever try to push me out, I know how to organize. But in all sincerity, in working at Alivio Medical Center for the past 26 years, because I was hired on February 1st, 1988. And as this whole process of retiring and jubilándose, you know, I hear the word jubilar, and I hear joy. I hear the word in English, retirement, and I'm afraid. So I'm saying to myself, I think I should be happy, but there's a part of me that's afraid. And change is here for all of us. We are in the midst of a country that is challenged with change. We talked about the Affordable Care Act. We talk about county care. But we all have to do one thing. And we cannot do this without each and every one of you present here. And the inheritance that I really believe that my father and my mother have given me here, and my family, is something very, very special. They always taught me to be grounded, don't get all excited, don't be all so presumptuous, calmate, calma. But most of all, to give with a passion, to give with caring, to give so that you make a difference. I know that the Alivio medical staff have made a difference to every patient who comes into Alivio Medical Center. Is Alivio perfect? No. But I do know this, that we have our eye on the prize. And what is the eye on the prize? Universal health care for everybody. No one is excluded. Immigration reform for the undocumented, and not to be afraid to say, I am undocumented. And to say we need more bilingual, bicultural, fluent Spanish-speaking providers. We should not be afraid to say who we are. We have an identity that nobody can take away from us. Es nuestra herencia. Now, I have a couple of people saying, what are you going to do February 1st? Honest to God, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I have a mother who's 95 and a sister who I'm her assistant. Who says, oh good, she's going to be home. I just me and I go, oh my God, they have plans for me. And then I look at all of you, and you have plans for me. So I scratch my head and I say, I need a little space. There's 4 months more at Alivio. The board will have a new leader 2 weeks before I leave. And so these are exciting times. I tell my staff, this is not a time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up. This is a time to say, we can do this, si se puede, and I don't know what else to say, but thank you for every one of you who came here today, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Governor Carlos Topileto, every one of you, you are my hero. Thank you very much.
You are the best.